The more we can uncover, the more we can release, the freer we get of all the obstructions that keep us from having a spiritual life. The more love we feel, the more foundation we feel. And the key to Rudy's work really is building foundation. I mean, it's like everything. Trees have roots, buildings have foundations, animals have nests, people have homes. There's always foundation. There's always the roots that are essential. Because in the roots and the foundation are the most basic elements of not only living in the world, but connecting with higher energy in the universe. As I said many times, I'll say it again before the class. There are three things in this meditation. It took me 20, 40 years to break it down to three things. One of them is receiving spiritual energy. Spiritual energy is very powerful energy. And in order to not be burned up by it and to be able to absorb it, we need to be really strong inside. The second element is life itself. We all know how powerful life can be and is. And in order to be able to work out our karma, to deal with life, we have to be very strong inside. And the third element is Kundalini, which is also a powerful energy. But Kundalini is the pathway to enlightenment. And in order to get on that path, we also need to be really strong inside. We have to have chi, we have to have balance, we have to have foundation. And that's what this work is about. Receiving spiritual energy, living in the world, working out our karma, working out our lives, whatever we have to do, and freedom, oneness with higher energy in the universe. And the point inside each and every one of us that makes this possible is the chakra that's right below the navel, because that's where the strength is, that's where the balance is, it's where the foundation is. Opening that chakra gives us the capacity to then open the heart. It enables us to keep the mind quiet. It enables us to open the throat chakra. It also enables us to channel sexual energy so that it activates Kundalini. All of these things are essential, but none of them are going to work if we're not rooted inside, if we don't have foundation. And that's what this work is about. It's not religion. It's not, I don't know what, cults. It's not following tradition. It's basically learning a craft. It's learning a craft. And once we master the craft, everything I'm talking about today manifests and takes place, including love, including compassion, forgiveness, including a quiet mind, including real knowledge, including the wisdom of God, and not the kind of nonsense that goes around, that bounces around in our brain. Strong chi and the capacity to transform sexual energy, to activate Kundalini. All of this is possible. None of it is possible if we're not grounded inside. So it's really something. I don't talk about this. I talk about it a lot, but I don't talk about it because I just like to hear myself talk. It's the key to mastering Rudy's meditation practice. And if you build that inner life, it starts reflecting in everything you do during the day. You look out at the world and you see a different world. You're not looking out at something that's your enemy. You're looking out at something that's your teacher. You can embrace it. You open to it. It doesn't create fear. It just creates wonderment that we can use everything, internal and external, to get closer to God. So please try and do that kind of work inside yourself. And really, I am worthy of this. That's one of the keys also. I am worthy of living this way. I am worthy of being a child of God on the earth. I will do what I have to do in order to attain that level of life. And it comes, not in a day and a half, but it comes, you know? Then I will have patience with myself and with the world to allow this thing to take place. So please, everybody, try to work really deeply inside, and we'll have a meditation class. I've unmuted everyone, and does anyone have a question?
Hi, Stuart. This is Jillian.
Yes, Julian.
Could you speak once again about how you've dealt with really kind of tenacious, old, stuck on tension that you just can't seem to let go of?
Uh, I mean, look, Jillian, I talk about this all the time. There are layers of tension inside all of us that we need to get rid of. You know, it's almost like homeopathy. You know, you get the disease in order to get rid of the disease. So when you go inside yourself, you release the tension, and that tension comes to the surface. And sometimes it could be very difficult, but it gives you an opportunity to at least know the enemy and to be able to, use your will, your need to bring that tension to the chakra right below the navel. It gets transformed into chi. I mean, there's no shortcut in this. I mean, we all have, it's like drilling for oil, it's like, drilling for gas, there's so many layers of tension inside human beings that we think we hit one pocket of tension and get rid of it and we're free, and we're not, because you keep going deeper and there are always pockets of tension that need to be released. You got to have patience. Understand, you have to have patience with yourself. It takes time. You're certainly on the right path. Since the day I met you today, I've seen enormous growth inside you and change. And to me, that's the key. And another key is look at yourself the way you were a year ago, 2 years ago. That should bring instant gratitude, instant, you know? So have patience and do the work. And it eventually you get rid of the, it's like scabs, they just fall away one day on sores, they fall, one day they're gone, And but we have to have the patience, and we need a continuum of working on ourselves. By that, I don't mean you sit down and meditate for 22 hours a day. That's ridiculous. But come to classes, do your work a half hour, 40 minutes a day. And because between those two things, the energy is very strong and it will help you accomplish what you asked. I mean, one of the things that kind of bothers me is when I see people show up here about once every 2 weeks and I take their names off my list because I can't afford that anymore. This work is very profound. It needs to be a continuum of learning and growing. And you can't master what I teach by turning up in a class every 2 weeks, every three. Oh, I'll go to meditation today. And you haven't been in a class in a month, I mean, it doesn't work. And I take people's names off my list. Some people get back in touch with me and I tell them, look, just what I said. I said, I can't have you as a student if you're an occasional student. So it requires a continuum of work. And I'm not saying this because I really need students, I don't. I've had enough students in my life. not know about that. I'm saying this because it works. It works. And a continuum of inner work is what brings about results, deep transformation. And then you get to a place where you really like yourself. There's all that self-worth in you that's buried that suddenly comes out. Oh man, I am really worthy of being a happy person. I'm worthy of having an incredible life. It comes out. And that's buried beneath those scabs that have to fall away, the tension that we hold on to. Does anyone else have a question they would like?
I wish you have a long life, healthy life, to to help so many souls and people on earth. We need it. I think that
Well,
is
look, I don't want to live to 200, it's
yeah,
enough here.
not 200. I don't ask you 200, but 100 years old.
Well,
But
let's see what happens.
I think that is Rudy's left to you. You Rudy gave to you life. That is,
He
I
gave
think
me life.
you might know that. Yeah.
Azuko, Rudy had a short life. He died when he was 45 years old.
I know that. That's why he really wishing you to continue for his
Took me a
profound.
lot longer to learn, but he
Yes, he is indeed. Yes,
lived
I
to
will
where
know
I'm
that.
now, just to learn all this stuff. And he learned it in 45 years and he was free. Because then, he was
He
free.
left so suddenly.
It
And
takes me
I
a
think
lot
you.
slower.
Mhm. I think this long life, this lifetime, but next life you don't have this body, you just spirit with next to the God. So I think this is the last your reincarnation.
I
I
hope
think that.
so.
I believe that. I really,
I,
I really
thank
believe
you.
that.
Thank you, dear. I told you, Atsuko, the day I met you, I knew I had known you for many lifetimes.
Yeah, you told me you did so many lifetime. I don't know how many, but
Many.
probably so many.
And that day, and it's what, 30 years ago, 40 years, a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart, about rage.
Rage? What about it? Sounds like something you don't want to live with. What about it? What about rage? What's the question?
My question is, I guess I have a judgment about it, that it's bad. Is it?
Yeah, well, look, rage does nothing but create a lot of trouble. You get rage in a car and you wind up killing yourself, or killing somebody else. It's just, look, when you're having a spiritual life, when you're deeply connected to God, spirit, everything is open and so there's no rage. You don't need that to fill up all the empty spaces inside yourself. Somebody does something stupid, you say, okay, I forgive them. What am I going to do? Kill them? So rage is a way of filling yourself with energy. And it creates a nightmare scenario. It's a film script that you don't want to live with. So I suggest that if you feel rage, that a lot of people do, and I'm sure people here do, bring to the chakra below the navel instead of spitting it out and trying to do damage to somebody else. Bring it to the chakra below the navel and say, okay, I haven't arrived yet. I'm still angry at the world. Some schmuck who tried to cut me off in my car is bringing up that anger. Why should I be angry at him? Just get centered and balanced and you'll keep yourself from getting into an accident. Some stupid person says something you don't like. They insult you. don't be angry. Just go into your navel chakra. Say, why the hell am I angry? Why do I feel insecure? Because somebody said something about me I don't like. People say things about me I don't like all the time. And it used to bother me years ago. It doesn't bother. Why do I give a shit what people think and what people say?
Thinking about the women in Atlanta. I'm thinking about the shooting. And
Huh? I don't understand,
I'm
Jessica.
thinking, there was a shooting in Atlanta, and I feel so angry. It's not about something trivial.
It's not trivial. I mean, look, it's a nightmare. Look, I was invited today to a kind of a seminar in Israel. There's a student of mine, two students of mine, whose child was murdered in Israel, by her husband. And now the wife is dead. The husband is in jail for the rest of his life. The child is living with aunts and, very young, maybe 2-3 years old. And I had a seminar, and one of the people talking was the representative to the United Nations from Israel, used to be the Israeli ambassador to the United States. And he went on and on and on. And nowhere, it was always about, laws and doing and money and, nowhere in anything he said did he talk about people having to fix themselves. People having to learn how to fix themselves. It's the same way with that insanity that happened in Atlanta. You understand? People don't learn that. They're so uptight inside. They're so living on edge inside that they wind up doing insane things. And we live in a world that doesn't teach people you've got to change inside. You have to stop blaming, not you, Jessica, but people like that guy, blaming the rest of the world for your problems and then going and killing people because of that. Nobody teaches this. And yes, it's upsetting and it's horrible, but it's been going on my entire lifetime. There was World War II when I was born, for God's sake. I mean, that should have created a lot of rage inside of people, the insanity of Holocaust and people. I mean, I was in, Poland, 4 years ago or so, and I went to Auschwitz. I mean, you want to get angry, go to a place like Auschwitz and see what happened there, where 1 million people, over 1 million people were slaughtered. It's something to get, and I was going through that and I said, when, that song, when will they ever learn? When do people ever learn? They don't learn by revenge. They don't learn by anger. They don't learn by being full of tension and rage and anxiety. They learn because they have to get to God. They have to open inside themselves. And as long as people don't do that, there's going to be rage in the world. There's going to be anger. People are going to kill each other. They're going to take out their own insecurity and tension on other people. So, I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I spent, time listening to that guy talking. And eventually I just turned it off because I said, it's all wrong. You're not going to fix this with politics. You're going to fix this with love. You're going to fix this whole insanity that goes on with kids killing each other, going into schools and slaughter with love. But the people have to learn how to get strong enough to be able to love. Love is not something you just do. You have to build a system inside that enables you to be grateful, enables you to love, enables you to, more than anything, forgive other people for the crap they do in this world. And I'm not the first one to teach this. This has been taught since the beginning of time, for God's sake. And if it makes you have a good cry, then have a good cry, but don't beat yourself up. And then go out there with some kind of, Luger or shotgun and try to kill people who do, I mean, you just to take the rage inside, turn it into forgiveness, turn it into love, and then try to pass that forgiveness and love on to the people that you can touch in your life. I mean, I was in an airplane crash with my teacher, Rudy. And I could have spent many, many years being angry about that because of the way it happened. I had to find forgiveness in myself. I don't know how many of you have read that book I wrote called Rudy, but it's in an anthology now. But I could have spent the rest of my life being angry because of the way that accident happened, full of rage. And I knew that I had to go deep inside myself to find incredible forgiveness. And it made me grow. And it was exactly what Rudy wanted me to do.
I think I don't know deeply enough, but he improved that you are 100% slender. He proved it. I think, I'm not sure, but I hope so. He just God gave him special message.
Suko, just ask a question, please.
Okay, all right.
I don't need pats on my shoulders. Okay.
Okay.
Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, it's Kat.
Excuse me?
Hi, it's Kat.
Yes?
Katiani.
Yes, Katyani, you're on the other page, so forgive me here. 1 second, I'll come over to you. There are 2 pages here. Okay, there you are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You said earlier that we get an illness to get better. And I thought of my own scarred lungs. And I wanted to know the best way to work with that.
Look, I had to deal with many people that had all kinds of illnesses in my life. If you get the Kundalini flowing inside you, if you build chi, Katyana, that's something I tried to get you to do 25 years ago. If you build chi inside yourself, you get the energy, Kundalini flowing, it'll take you 80% towards healing yourself. That's practice of this meditation, building that kind of inner life. You can say to yourself, it's something I do, with the healing power and restorative power of Rudra in my lower chakras. Rudy was a manifestation of Rudra. Rudra is one of the most ancient primordial gods in Hinduism, one of the most powerful of the gods in Hinduism. Rudy was a 20th century manifestation of that energy. So just say to yourself, help me, with the power, the primordial power of Rudra, with the healing and restorative power of Rudra in my lower chakras. Just a little mantra like that will really help you to get very strong inside yourself. And do this every time you meditate. Just say that to yourself. Okay?
Okay.
And then, Katyani, it takes practice. It takes a continuum of doing it, It's not going to happen in 2 days. It takes practice. You can't give up. You have to practice, and then you get slowly, step by step, stronger in this. And your job really is to build chi. That's when I knew you years ago, that was missing, that chi. You have to build that power in the chakra right below the navel. I really mean it. It'll take you so far in healing yourself that it'll astonish you, Katyani. I mean this. And I'm just happy to see you, dear. I really am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, there'll be class tomorrow evening, same time, same place. I hope to see everybody here. And God bless you all and thank you for being here. Because I'm telling you, when people ask these questions, the whole class goes to an astounding level. And I'm just very grateful to be able to participate in it. I'm just here to learn also. That's the truth. Does anyone else have a question? If not, there'll be meditation tomorrow evening. And God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.